Hello, I'm here today with Steve Boley down in Lincoln at Gauntlet Games. Steve's hosting or putting together the tournament down here in Lincoln on February 20th. It's a one-day, three-match event, 750 points. And we're just using straight, regular rules, no .NET rules or anything like that. So I'm going to be playing in that tournament with Steve, and today we're going to be doing a prep game. We're going to do a little preparatory game. We're going to be playing the scenario pack rule, no middle ground. We played that I played it a couple times. Steve has not. So I'm gonna go over that. And what do you got going on in the bolt action community in Lincoln, Steve?
Well, besides this tournament, right after this tournament, we're gonna try to set up another campaign. It'll be an escalation, slow grow.
I like slow grows. Give people opportunity to get into the sport and paint, learn how to play, and get their stuff painted up.
Exactly. And also, I've been working pretty hard painting a whole bunch of armies for people that are playing in this tournament.
Nice. Do you get paid for that?
Yes, I do.
Good, good.
So I'm excited to see how this tournament comes out.
Me too.
It sounds like there's going to be a lot more people showing up than last time.
Good.
We had, I believe it was 12 people show up last time. So hopefully.
I did not. That day, which I said I was going to be here, turned out to be my very first wedding anniversary, and I got in big trouble. So
yeah, he did the smart thing.
No, I did not. I tried to double dip. I was going to try to do both. Didn't work out. But yeah, I was very sad I missed that. I know Alan came down and he had a great time. He talked about it quite a bit, the different armies that he met, and the different players that he met, and he really had a good time. He enjoyed it. So he's looking to come back. He is coming back this time, and he's planning to try to do a little better than he did. I think he had 2 losses and a draw last time.
Yep. He had some poor dice.
Oh, he air bombed himself. He said out of 3 games, he bombed himself 4 times.
Yep.
So he's not even bringing an air observer this time. He's not bringing one. So I think that if being an American player, I would take that thing all day long. But he's not going to kill himself. So.
Yeah, he was his biggest enemy.
Yeah, I thought he should maybe bring Soviets this time, but he's going to go with his Americans again. Right. So we're going to be playing our battle. I'm going to go over, if anybody has they want to know more about Lincoln tournament scene, Steve is definitely on the Nebraska Bolt Action Facebook page. You can find him on there. He's a busy guy, but he will always respond to you. If you want to get involved in the tournament or the campaign, hit him up with a PM and he will get back to you and let you know how to get involved. And we're going to go over Steve's army list that he brought today. And he's bringing Germans. This is a project I think he's putting together for somebody else, a consignment job that he's putting together. And I've seen some of Steve's stuff. I've took a few pictures before. He does a great job of painting. These guys aren't finished, obviously. He's getting them together. But if you look at the lieutenant here, you can see kind of where he's going with the entire army. So, what do you have today for me to play against?
I am running effectively an early German reinforced platoon. Right off the bat, we have a regular lieutenant, regular second lieutenant, actually.
Okay.
And then I have a 5-man hair infantry squad with a light machine gun.
Okay, because these guys are with that.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
The NCO has a submachine gun, everybody else has rifles. Then this one is a 6-man hair infantry squad, light machine gun, sergeant has submachine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the hair pioneer squad. It is NCO has a submachine gun, plus 6 guys have submachine guns.
Wow.
And the all famous flamethrower.
That's like something I would run right there. Okay.
And then we have a medium machine gun right here.
Gotcha.
It's regular also. The pioneers are the only ones that are veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I have a medium motor that is inexperienced. They also have a spotter.
Okay.
I have an 88 Flak 36 dual purpose, but unfortunately not all the parts came along, but I can get to stick together enough to at least look like it.
Yes, I know what it is. I know what it does. I've never faced an 88 before. Yeah, it came from Warlord missing a piece, but he's sent out a fix-it request. So hopefully he will get that back here shortly.
And then we have an SDK KFZ 251/1 half track.
Straight up Hanamag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Medium
Little
machine
Hanamag.
gun. Okay.
And then we have the SDKFZ 7.
I like that. That's a model that Josh Dunn had from Sioux City. I do not own one of these yet, but I really like that. And what's that? 6 up soft side?
Yep,
Half
soft
track?
side.
How many people does
It
it
can
hold?
transport up to 12.
And it
but
can tow anything.
anything.
Gotcha. All right. So, because this normally is a heavy gun, so you wouldn't be able to push it around. Is that correct?
It is a fixed. It is fixed. So to haul it around, you actually have to.
Have a tow of some sort.
Tow
You
of
can't
some sort.
shove it like a normal.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But that's all right. It's on. It has a turntable, I believe.
Yeah, I think all AA guns basically do. I will say it does. Sounds good to me. So with the new FAQ, it can fire 360 degrees, just raging doom and destruction on anything that gets near it. And then also the theme of your army, the early war, you know, with the FAQ, it took away assault rifles from early war Germans, which is fine. I don't think you're planning to take them anyway. If you were, you wouldn't be able to, but you could always make it a late war, because all the items in your list also could be found in late war. So,
Yep.
all right, I'm gonna just go over mine. I just did that with Steve. I think it's the same list. If you guys watched my last battle report, it's the same list.
Oh, no, it is too.
I've got my medium inexperienced mortar. I've got a Piat team. I've got my light howitzer. It also is a light anti-tank gun. 8-man commandos with rifles. I have my 6-man commandos with submachine guns. They really didn't do anything last game. I've got the 4 submachine guns in there. Didn't utilize them like I kind of thought I would last game. Maybe I will this game. 8-man rifle squad, 8-man regular rifle. I got my lieutenant, my trusty lieutenant. He's only a second lieutenant, the +1. Wait, which one? No. Yeah, second lieutenant. And I did give him an extra submachine gunner this time. He normally totes around a rifle guy. My artillery observer, who shined last game. A9 cruiser tank, light anti-tank gun with the multiple machine guns, 2 whole mount and 1 on the coax. I have the 15 CWT truck. That holds 8 men, and then I have a 30 CWT truck that holds 10 men. I like those combinations of trucks. I can kind of fit all my little guys in there. Not all of them, but the majority. So that's my 750 point list. This is what I'm still planning to take to the tournament, barring changing maybe the commando squads and getting rid of the submachine guns. I got them painted up. I want to try them in my second game. All right, so we're going to get to our first waves. Haven't decided what I'm going to do in my first wave yet. We're going to get back to that. Okay, I determined my first wave. My first wave is going to be both my trucks, my 8-man commando squad, my 6-man commando Piat team, and a mortar. So I need at least half in my first wave, so that's 6. So there's 6. So I'm going to also have an observer. So what I have left in reserve is going to be 2 regular infantry squads, my lieutenant, my light howitzer, and my tank. Steve has elected to bring in his first wave as the 88 gun. Towed by that track, a lieutenant, a medium machine gun team, and a mortar team. And that's because he has 9 order dice, so he has to bring in 5 minimum first wave. And it could be your whole army if you wanted, but that would be silly in this particular scenario. All right, so now we're going to do our spotters, and we'll start the game. Alright, that's the end of turn 1. And in turn 1, basically, not a lot going on because you got a lot of stuff in reserves. I'm bringing this, my 2 commando trucks around this rock here towards that token. I know he's got a half track with some pioneers in it. Got a mortar here. The main thing is this 88 gun. I was kind of deciding what I want to do with my artillery observer. I thought about firing a 6-inch smoke template. That way, even if I miss, well, you can't miss with it. It either comes in or it doesn't. So you can't miss unless it doesn't come in. And if I would have done smoke, I could have shrouded that thing in some smoke to block its line of fire. But I'm going with the fire for effect. So hopefully I'll be able to put some pins on that. I was really fortunate the other day against Alan, rolled out of 6s, so who knows? Maybe I can get that to come in and put some pins on there. Other than that, it's going to be it's about the 88 gun and turn 2 what comes in, and that's why I was very cautious with my trucks. Probably not cautious enough, but I think I'm outside of a 9-inch advance and then a 6-inch advance, so I won't get flamethrowered in one turn. So I've done that to people, and I've had it happen to me last gate time I played German. So what are you thinking? Anything going on, Steve?
Hoping that 88 surprised the artillery, because otherwise that's 200 points of the force gone.
That is a awesome piece of machinery, but like you said, it's basically your tank slot and your artillery slot just because of the points. Yep. And it will kill everything that gets in front of it, and it can even fire as light howitzers, so infantry can even affect them. So
and flak.
And flak. I don't have an airplane, but
yeah.
But it is a pretty cool thing. All right, so we're gonna go pick up the dice and start turn 2. Try this battle port a little bit different. Do the videos and then the pictures after. Here's a couple pictures of his army again. A little close up of some of these. He's painting these on consignment for somebody else, and they're really starting to look sharp. I've seen some of Steve's other miniatures that he's got finished, and they always look really good. So yeah, nice and crisp and clean, looking good. So real quick, go through the turn 1 photographs. Here's just my observer, placement of him. Then he's got a couple spotters. He's got a mortar spotter, and then his 88 gun spotter is right next to him right there on the right, behind that little tree. And then he brought that in first thing. And this is the first time Steve's played this scenario, so I'm seeing it there, and I think I got a pretty good chance to get some shots in on it when I bring in my reserves on turn 2. But it is 360 degrees with the FAQ, so it can fire in all directions, so it just kind of sucks. Got my mortar there, and then yeah, the 360 on that turntable AA gun, that thing is brutal, and that's one of the reasons why Steve wanted to try it out, was with that ruling, you can spin and fire. Here it says he disembarks it right there. The first turn was a toe, and this next dice he dropped it off there. He brought a mortar team in because the deployment in this is you got to come in on the corners, 12 inches from each side, and then he's got, I think his next item is his lieutenant, and he just runs him in to right there, so he can be close to the AA gun. If the AA gun would need any kind of morale boost, he'd be able to give it a +1. So that was that. Alrighty, so that ends turn 2, right? And the end of turn 2, so we're going into turn 3. I was just telling Steve here I have been poorly playing this commando surge on the right here. A lot of my dice were coming. I should have actually gotten out turn 1 and just hoofed. I don't know what I was waiting for, some inspirational move or something, but I should have hopped out. And then on my turn, since my dice were coming out so soon, I could have went into ambush, and they would have been less tempted to come up and fire at me. It's still okay. My infantry's in pretty decent shape. As long as I can pull some dice first. I think I'm more upset that my truck and my howitzer didn't come in last turn, or my tank. Other than that, things are okay. He's cleared the pins off his 88, and it's sitting there in ambush, which that sucks. I did get a great mortar shot on his 88 spotter, needing a 6, and I killed him, but yeah, it's not really the best. I probably should have went with the smoke. In hindsight, that smoke would still be sitting there for the direct fire. But what are you thinking there, Steve?
Yeah, all I can think of is everybody over there just got all puckered up when they saw that 88 sitting over there.
It is a psychological tool, just like a big tank. You know, you go, damn. So that is true.
Yeah. But yeah, if you would have had smoke, all I'd been able to do is shoot at anything coming up over this hill, and at that point,
or indirect, and you're just a light howitzer that way. I mean,
well, actually, no.
Well, now, yeah, now, yeah. But at the time, but yeah. So it's going to be a heated battle over here. We both got some interesting stuff here. He's got his veteran pioneers with a flamethrower that I don't care for, and then I've got some commandos. So hopefully we'll pull some dice for the British, and we'll be able to make him pay for his insolence. So we shall see, though. All right, I guess we'll go to turn 3. Here's a quick or a picture recap of turn 2, and that was my artillery strike. Came in just as I wanted it to. I got 3 pins on the truck and only 1 pin on the AA gun and 2 pins on the lieutenant. So no direct hits. So that is unfortunate on that AA gun. I really wanted to get multiple pins on there, because very good chance he's going to pass and shoot something. So my next order dice that I used on my tank. I wanted to bring it in. I was just going to have it go after the NA aircraft gun and light it up, because that gun shield he's got facing to the right, so there wouldn't be any gun shields. I could put 12 medium machine guns on target, so that failed. I ran these guys in from reserves, and they can't be seen by the AA gun. From where they're at, that rock and that hill, if you get down and look, you can't see. So then he clears a pin by putting that in ambush. So he rolled and passed, and so now it's an ambush. So that sucks, because that was my chance for my tank to get some shots on him. And I bring this infantry squad in. So I got these guys over here on the left, far left side. I've got them where they can go towards either token if I have to push, because over on the right hand side, I'm just been stalling. I tried to bring this in. I was going to put it in the center of the board, and it fails to come in. Now on the right, I didn't take very good pictures of it, is my commando trucks. I should have gotten out. I know he's got a flamethrower. I know he's got several units of infantry. Here he fails a check with his truck. And I should have got out. And on this turn, because I start pulling a lot of dice, and I'm having to burn my dice by just doing things, putting them in down and stuff. He rallies his lieutenant there, clears the pins off of him. And if I would have been out of my vehicle, I could have at least gone into ambush. So I do not play this very well. I go ahead and advance those commandos out. So now they've moved, they can't fire. I've got an advance order on that truck. I had just kind of wheeled it up a few inches, wasting time. And I go down with these guys. I should have went down with their truck, because now I don't want to get out and get shot up. I could have got out on the other side. I'm just very poorly playing these guys, thinking a lot in hindsight of what I could have and should have done. He brings his medium machine gun team. He had brought in before. He advances them into the wood line there. Just get him in some cover. And so here comes one of his squads. They come in, light machine gun, a couple rifles. They fire at the truck, put a pin on there. I do have my Piat still in there. It doesn't kill the truck though. And then I hit this dude with needing a 6. I kill a spotter for the AA. And I didn't have a whole lot of targets, so he had fired his mortar at my mortar and missed, and I fired my mortar at that guy and killed him. So he does bring his half-track in, and then I advance my Piat team out. I need a 6 to hit with the range and the pin marker. I might even needed a 7. I missed. No big surprise. He comes out, and he starts shooting up my truck with his squad, and he kills my truck, and I've got a pin on me, and he killed my lieutenant, rolling the D6 hit, or the D6 when they bail out, and he got one, and he killed my lieutenant by rolling exceptional damage, so that sucks. So I've got 1 pin and a dead NCO. I say lieutenant, but I meant sergeant. So yeah, look at that. That's going to be quite, because I played it so poorly, now I've got an uphill battle. So we'll go to the video for turn 3. Alright, so that ends turn 3. We're going on turn 4. Carnage over here. I was actually very fortunate. I moved my commando team out there to put some fire down, and they did, but not quite enough. He got the next order dice and torched my guys, but he rolled really poorly with a 1 followed by a 1 on his flamethrower, and I was able to pass my vengeance check. Well, then he shot me up and killed everybody but 3 guys, and I passed my check with the help of vengeance and assaulted him, and we killed each other. So that was a fair trade for me since I was already at the disadvantage with my poor positioning in the round before. Other than that, basically he's got me outgunned, outnumbered there, but maybe I'm within 6 over here, so if I can pull a dice, I can assault that squad and get out of the way of the other squad. But then again, like me and Steve were just talking, we got a lot going on over here too. Where do you want your first order dice to go? That anti-aircraft gun 88 is not dead yet. It's got 2 guys left, so it's not even taking a -1 penalty on that. And that will evaporate my tank in 1 shot. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. What are you thinking there, Steve?
It's not looking good for the Germans. They are hurting for
bodies more than anything, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do have the gun that can reach across the entire board and vaporize anything, but it's falling apart because I didn't have enough guys over here to support this flank because I tried to press this advantage.
Yeah, I think in the future, this is the first time you've taken an 88 gun or anything like that that I know of. And I think maybe in the future you may want to think about, you know, leaving a little farther back, because it's in a great position if this scenario didn't allow me to bring in reserves clear down here.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I have learned from playing this scenario 3 times. If you would have brought that in on instead of a first wave and you brought it in as a reserve, you could pick your spot and you'd be able to put it in almost like where the gun shield's in front, that you can just dominate at least 2 of the tokens, you know. So it's just something to think about.
Oh, week of 2.
So far so good for me. Yeah, I don't like that my commandos are getting creamed, but you know what? It's all about controlling the tokens, and he's tying up most of his army as opposed to a few rando dudes. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I didn't really want to bring my tank in way over there. I would have preferred to have it on the road to try to dominate the middle of the board, but with that thing not being dead, I had to come in and try to put as much fire as I could on it. Got another pin, but wasn't able to kill it, so it's bad. So we're getting ready to start turn 4. We'll see how the dice come out. It's going to be interesting. Steals from turn 3. First thing he does is activate his ambush. I pull a dice and move this commando squad out, and I'm trying to protect my squads from the flamethrower. The one has pins on it. I'm afraid they won't activate. So I move these guys out. He fires his ambush. That thing's got some range on it, but he misses with a 3, so that's nice. I think he needed a 4. So, woohoo, yay. So that's nice. I do hit him with some, I got 4 submachine guns and 2 rifles, and I put a lot of shots, but I don't kill, I kill a couple guys and put a pin on him. I'm hoping that he'll fail at check, because he's got a flamethrower in there, and it'll be bad news, but he doesn't fail. He pulls the next order dice. I was really hoping I'd get another dice and these guys would pass, but assault him or something. But he flames me, but he rolls poorly on his flamethrower. He only rolls 1 wound, and he rolls like 2 pins total. And even his flamethrower didn't kill anybody. All the submachine guns, they like all hit, but he needed 5s to kill. So he only kills 4 guys, and I passed my check. So I'm still alive with 3 guys left. Here I advance around the side of the rock, and I just start firing at that AA gun, and I'm able to put a couple hits, another pin, and kill a few guys because the gun shield is not pointing the right way. Here he brings this squad in to really start lighting up my commando standing there, and he does a pin to me, and I think he kills 1 guy. Yeah, looks like there's 1 missing. These guys come around the side of the rock. They have to move and fire, and I'm just kind of having to stand there and take it. But very, very fortunate for me, he rolls poorly on the 2 wound, and I'm out of both those squads hit me. I'm down to 4 guys, so 2 pins, but 4 guys. I have vengeance from my army rule, and so that's the overview of that there. I haven't done anything in my Piat yet, but there's not much for him to do. Yeah, let's see what happens next. Now I bring my howitzer in. I got that in a nice little spot to support my commandos if they can stay alive, to try to hit this unit on the far left here, or on the left of that skirmish. My mortar just runs over here. Didn't really have anything to shoot at. So now I can see his lieutenant. I can kind of see the edge of that 88 gun. So there's that. My lieutenant comes in from reserve and squeezes up behind this rock here. I'm planning to basically control that token with him. I don't really want to expose him to any fire. And here I have 2 pins and a dead NCO. I pass my vengeance, and so I remove one of the pins. Actually, I had 3 pins. I go to 2 pins and a dead NCO, so I need a 7, and I pass, and I charge him. I have 6 attacks. I kill 3 guys. He's got his 2 submachine gunners, so 4 attacks back. He kills 2. I only have 1 remaining, but I have a dead NCO, and I roll my check, and I need a 9 because I lost more than half casualties. So basically I win, but that guy is so exhausted and battle worn that he decides to retire from the field. So that's a wash. That's okay. I'll take that since I was in a huge disadvantage. Now I've got 4 commandos against 2 units, and I have a Piat team and a truck. So yeah, I'll take that. Since I played so poorly, I'm dicing my way out of danger. He fires at that squad that had come around the side to shoot at the AA gun, needing a 6, and he missed. He'll need a 5 next turn. And here's my Piat. I'll go ahead and just fire it. I think I need a 3, long range 4, shape charge 5. I'm just trying to put a hit on those guys to make a pin, and I miss. And my truck passes his order check with 2 pins. It still has 1, but it turns around, does 2 turns, turns around, and just advances straight ahead. Use both its turns to turn around. And over here he fails again with his truck, with his half track, fails another order check. His lieutenant had scooted over to make sure he was in range of it, but he still fails. It's an inexperienced truck with 3 pins. And then finally I just kind of advanced my squad up into the edge of these woods and fired his medium machine gun, and he returned the favor and fired back at me and did a pin to me. That's pretty much the whole turn. Alright, that's the end of turn 4, going into turn 5. The commandos were awesome. They passed their check, passed their vengeance, then passed their check, then assaulted that squad, were able to cream them. His squad's coming around, was able to take off my Piat, but passed my check. Other than that, I'm kind of sad that 88 is still alive. I was very happy when he missed me, but he's still alive. I only put 1 more pin on him because he has a gun shield to me now, so it's harder to pick guys off. So that could still vaporize me next turn. I got a little greedy. I fired one of my guns. I should have just fired the anti-tank gun. Well, I missed with it anyway, but that's pretty much that. Got a squad heading for the center, but they got shot up pretty good by that machine gun. What are you thinking, Steve?
I think I'm getting stretched pretty thin. It's a lot different than the Russians, where you have lots of stuff all over the place.
Yeah, you just got like, oh yeah, I got these guys. Oh yeah, I got these guys. Yeah, or even anti-tank teams and things for the objectives and stuff. Yeah, you got to be pretty focused with your expensive squads. All right, so we're gonna, when we come back, we'll do turn 5.
That way there's no way that you can charge
Breakdown of that last turn. So yeah, these guys passed their vengeance check and then passed their order test, needing I think a 10. They salted. They were able to cream that unit. I was at point blank, so he couldn't fire at me. Here he gets an order, fires at my tank. He does have 2 pins on him, and he misses me. He rolled a 2. So, whew, tank stayed alive. So I go ahead and advance my tank up. I do fire my light anti-tank gun at the truck. I should have just focused everything on the AA gun, but I fired 2 machine guns at it. Now his gun shield is towards me, so I put another pin, so he's got 3 pins, but don't kill anybody. Here his medium machine gun fires at that squad in the woods, and he rips them a new one. They had he did like 4 wounds to me, 4 dead guys out of 5 shots, and I passed my check though. Here he just kind of fires these guys at this team. I go down, but he still is able to pick a guy off. I fire my mortar at his AA gun, needing a 6, and I miss. I'll need a 5 next turn. So yeah, because then I'm like, ooh, I should have killed that AA gun. But so then I go ahead. These guys had gotten shot up by that medium machine gun team quite a bit, and pass a check and advance out of the woods to get set up to try to run to the objective. And I do pot shot at him, and I roll a 6 followed by a 6. So I do get a pin on him. His Hanamag just drives over this way. Can't shoot or anything because doesn't have anybody in there because we're not using any of the bolt action season.net rules or anything. We're using the straight up rules. I move this guy out of the woods just so I can run next turn because you need to be within 3 inches of those tokens to capture him. So he's got these. So he's just prepping for that. My truck had survived, so it just runs down here to protect itself from any random shots. Save that order dice. And you know, that's his truck still fails again, and his he's still got the 2 wounds on that AA gun. So I go ahead and fire these guys. Don't move him, although he's raining in with his mortar on these guys. He's zoning in on them. I say screw it. I need all the hits I can get. I probably should have advanced. But I just fire, and I fire real well, and I get 2 6s out of my hits, and I'm able to pick those last 2 guys up. Because it was a small team, too. So it was like long-range, small team. And then I needed 6s to kill. And then I fired this at that infantry squad over there. And I think I hit them. But I did 2 pins, but only 1 wound. So that was decent with the howitzer. Alright, that was the end of turn 5. I'm about ready to start turn 6. I had to take a short break there, but see if the big highlights that I remember is my tank is still alive, and the lieutenant ran away. I whiffed with all my shots, but I'm still active. I've got this squad kind of run out here on top of the token. I got my artillery observer. I did hit this squad with a howitzer. So those pins really helped. He failed his activation check thanks to my commandos and that howitzer hitting him. So that's pretty much it there. Going into turn 6, pretty good. The only thing I need to worry about now is dink-donk type tactics that cost me a token, especially in the center. I'm not too worried about the one on the right. I could still capture it technically, but what are you thinking there, Steve?
I'm thinking it's lost cause. Most of my firepower failed to activate last turn, and now they're all out of position.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot left to contest stuff in the first place, but with the ones you didn't do so well, they failed to activate. So the machine gun and that squad in particular. So all right, so we'll play turn 6 and then see if we go to a turn 7.
I just forgot that he was...
All right, just to go over that turn again. I ran these guys up onto the token. This is actually turn 5. We're about ready to start turn 6. So I drove my truck. I fired some machine guns at the lieutenant. I fired my whole mounts at that medium machine gun. I missed with all those. And then his my mortar didn't have anything to fire at, so I fired at his lieutenant. It's the only thing you can really see. Didn't do much with my mortar this game, but that's all right. My commandos, every time something doesn't do well, something else does better. There, my commandos advance, so they come up onto the top of these rocks like the action figure heroes they are, and they fire two submachine guns and a rifle down there, and I'm able to actually get that third. I think he had 2 pins, so I did a pin on him. Yeah, he had 2 from the howitzer and then 1 from that, and I hit it this turn, not the turn before. My Piat team moves over and fires because I don't care about him. This guy runs up here just to keep any wacky stuff. Actually, I think I put my 4-man team in ambush just to keep his spotter and stuff back. This mortar finally zeroes in on this squad of mine that I was going to move them this turn. They've been playing with fire, and so they get nailed. And he rolls a 6 to hit, a 6 to how many wounds, a 6 on everything on the pins, but fortunately I passed my check, even though he kills 6 guys, and I passed my check and I don't get destroyed. But yeah, that was a lot of damage. He did finally pass an order check with his half track, so now it has 2 pins on him, and his lieutenant just runs back here next to it. Kind of bugging out. So there's not much left for the Germans to do. His machine gun had failed his activation check, and this Hanamag just drives over here. And then his squad over there by my commandos, you know, he could shoot them up. He's got a light machine gun still and a submachine gun, but he fails his activation check. So that keeps him from finishing off my heroic commando, so that was good for me. So we'll go to the video for turn 6. Okay, so we finished that up with an assault with my commandos. I was able to wipe him out. So we're going to call good game there. Steve, we were just kind of talking about, obviously you don't play Germans normally, you usually play Soviets, so you don't have a lot of those throwaway squads. Your stuff's important. We were just talking over here. Steve had me beat. I played poorly, didn't do my stuff right, gave him a huge advantage, and then the dice kind of failed him and favored me. I passed all my checks, and I was able to kind of close combat my way out of the hole. So what were you saying there right before?
I was saying that.
Oh, the 88 gun.
Yeah, the 88 gun is probably something that'd be better in a larger scale, because, like I said, it's for a anti-tank gun. It's the same cost of. Actually, it's probably more expensive.
That's only 125 points. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 195 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gun, it's very versatile, very helpful. Nice ability to be able to fire 360 degree, but.
And the one good shot I had in ambush, it missed, which then caused me to kind of turn the tables on the commando scenario. Well, it helped, definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it'd be better fit in probably a 1,000 or a 1250 game for sure.
Yeah.
How many points when that's the plus?
750.
Yeah. So it's taken up a chunk. The order dice started going. I mean, we definitely saw turn 3 and 4 where I still had 10 dice in the bag, and you had lost a couple, and you were already short. That really, pulling those first dice were important on a couple of those rounds, and it basically sealed that right flank quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't help that all my big point weapons were ineffective through that entire game. Flamethrower, one hit.
One hit. Didn't even
damage.
kill a guy. Did a couple pins, and I passed my check. So.
And the 88?
Got one shot off.
One shot off. That's
Yeah.
it.
No, it had 2. It had a shot at my tank, but you had
Oh yeah, that's right.
you had at least 1 pin on you. It had 1 shot at my
It
tank.
had 3 pins. I rallied. I mean, not rallied, but I passed the order, so I had a +2, needed a 5, and rolled a 2.
Yes, so you did have 1 shot at my tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then again, it's the first time you've played this scenario too. And we were talking earlier, this scenario is different than any of the other ones, because I think if the 88 would have come in on reserve, it would have been in a nice little spot somewhere, maybe else not so close to my infantry pinging at it and stuff, and give it that distance it needs to really dominate the middle of the board. I wouldn't have been able to bring anything out there without it getting shot up. So.
Yeah.
All right, so that was actually a fun game, but went my way against the Germans, so we'll wrap that one up.
Yep. So you're now 2 to 3.
We are. You've
won 2. I've won 1.
Yeah, but the one that you beat me and you slaughtered me, like creamed me. So yeah, those are our 3rd game together. But you were playing an army that you're not familiar with a scenario you never played. So definitely, it was still a good game. All right. Well, here's just some pictures here towards the end. I got to turn off. We had a little break there, and then so this is where I kill his medium machine gun with my shots. So that would have been the end of turn. Yeah, end of turn 5, I guess. I eliminated that machine gun team. His lieutenant had gotten into his truck. I'm not sure he's going to try to pull, but so he got in there, and then it failed. It actually foobarred, so then it didn't really have anything in his front, so it just went down. That was kind of the story of the game for him in some respects. Here, he fired at me again, and I went down, but he only rolled 1 hit, so that was halved. So they stayed alive. And then over here in the middle, I was just in ambush, keeping anything wacky from happening. So it was another good game. Against Steve. He's a great opponent. I do want a rematch against his Soviets again here in the near future, and we were actually talking about starting up a little campaign together. He's going to send me the rules for that. Make some time and go down to Lincoln and play him in a campaign. Yeah, the pivotal part of this game really was my commandos. I was doing a horrible job with them, and I was able to dice my way out of a hole. Learned a lesson with those guys. Need to get out of the trucks. If anything, get out of the trucks and get on the other side. Use them as a screen or a wall. So if he brings stuff in, he can't even shoot my commandos, and then go from there. I could always drive the truck out of the way and be able to fire my commandos if I had to. It was just turn 2. I came in there turn 1, turn 2. There's no rush to get to that token. Put my guys in safe spots. I don't know why I stayed in my vehicles, thinking I could maybe drive up and do what? I don't know. I would have been better on foot, at least with one of the squads, and put them into ambush. If the dice don't go my way, if the dice do go my way, well, that's fine. He's going to have to commit, and then I'll be able to react to him. So, anywho, that was our battle. That was a fun match. And let me know if you like this video. I did the pictures in the video a little bit different. Video first, pictures after. There's my nice new blast markers I got from Steve. Picked up 2 more of those from him today. They look really sharp, nicely painted. Dramatic effect. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, put them in the box. Thanks.